Okay. Okay. Hello and welcome. Let's get everybody to get tuned in to the broadcast. My name is Darshawn McRae. We want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're going to do our very best to keep you guys enlightened about what's going on. We got a few things we want to talk about. We want to talk about how to achieve balance. And balance is going to be different for a lot of different people. Um, there are certain things in your life that you're looking forward to doing that's not in my life. But I think a part of my goal is to get you guys to realize that there is a balance that comes into your life, and you have to make sure that you're able to achieve that for your own personal satisfaction. So, while we're doing this, we want to do some housekeeping real quickly just to make sure everything is everything. So, how about we go ahead and give a let's say let's say we give a moment of silence to everybody who's lost um, a loved one or to all the fallen men and women soldiers. Okay, thank you for that moment of silence. So let's get right into it. We're going to talk about achieving balance. And a lot of what I realize about achieving balance comes along the lines of knowing what it is that you want out of your life. And when does that happen? When does that opportunity happen for you to know, like, okay, what is it that I'm looking for? One of the biggest questions that I'm starting to recognize that a lot of people have is like, what is their purpose? What's my purpose? What's my purpose on life? What's my purpose? What's my purpose? A lot of people want to know what their purpose is. And, I'm not going to say I'm the guru of this, but I can pretty much tell you the purpose of your life is for you to be happy. And in that, you're going to experience a lot of difficult times. The contrast comes into play where you're going to lose people, you're going to lose jobs, you're going to lose money, things are going to happen to you, things that you don't want to happen. Like a lot of stuff is going to happen to you. But when you talk about your ultimate purpose, tell me what feels better than being happy, because happy is a feeling. It's a choice that you have to make for yourself. How many times have we seen people make a decision to wake up and choose violence? How many times have you noticed that people just got up with a chip on their shoulder? You choose to do that. That's your choice. So when you ask about what your purpose is, you have to recognize that your purpose is to be happy for yourself. You're not here to solve everybody's problems. My problems are not yours. The issues that are happening in the world, that's not your burden to bear. If you want to be, kind of technical or a little funny about it, Jesus Christ died on the cross for everybody's sins. So it's not your problem to take on the rest of the world. So, how do you achieve balance for yourself? One of the main things that I did, and this happened for me back in the year 2009, 2010, you guys got to check out my series called the Jumpman series. I'm doing it right now on YouTube. And the Jumpman series is basically a reevaluation counseling course to help you achieve the personal success in your life. What type of things are you looking forward to doing? Like, how successful do you want to be for yourself? Because you can't measure your life against a Bill Gates or a Mark Zuckerberg or a Oprah Winfrey or a Gail. You can't measure your standard of success or worldly success on other people. You can look at them and be inspired. You can be motivated, but to look at your own personal circumstances and to think that you're not successful is something that you don't want to do. You are successful in your own right. Now, if you wake up every morning saying that you want to become a billionaire, okay, you can work towards that. But don't put that type of pressure on yourself to make $1 billion and you never saved up 10,000. It doesn't necessarily happen like that. It doesn't really work that way. Now, granted, some people get lucky, they hit the lottery, but it hasn't been too many lottery winners that, made $1 billion. So to make $1 billion is a real tough feat. However, achieving balance Achieving personal balance in your life, that's quite simple, because that's a decision that you have to make. You have to live within your means. You have to start developing an understanding about yourself and who you are. You have to know what offends you, what hurts you, what makes you feel good, what makes you sad. Like, you really have to do a self evaluation, and then to attempt to reevaluate your perception on life. I achieved a certain aspect of balance when I started to realize that I'm not here to save the world. I'm not here to, if you know what, in a crazy way, in a roundabout way, I'm not here to be the richest person on the planet. That's not my thought process. That's not what my focus is. My focus is, how can I be the happiest for myself today? The more so less tired, less aggravated. Like, how can I just be at peace with myself? I'm happy with myself. I'm happy with where I'm at. How do I continually and consistently keep myself in that mode? Because in that mode, I'm becoming more successful financially. I'm becoming more healthy. Like, so that's what you want to focus on, is, how do I achieve that balance for myself? How am I attempting to keep myself happy? And one of the main things I can tell you guys is this: you have to really, and I'm being serious, I'm being really sincere, you have to be very comfortable with who you are and where you are in life. And when I say who you are, it comes down to this: if you don't have the best things in life, if you don't have the best things in life, which it would be considered to be things like private jets, materialistic things, right? What people consider to be the best, the most fanciest home on the planet. That's okay. You're not the only one, you know. But as long as you have a roof over your head, food in the refrigerator, it may not be all the food in the world, but food in the refrigerator, enough gas in your car, water, think the essentials for you to stay alive and to be well, and not just on the notion of just surviving, but for you to be well, you're doing good. Be happy about that. Be present about that, because what you'll start to realize is that in this weird roundabout way, you start to develop a certain aspect of peace. And when you develop that peace, that's when that happiness follows suit, and it starts to give you balance, because now you start to understand what it feels like to be happy, what it feels like to be frustrated, what it feels like to be stable. Having balance is a pure perception of what is it that you want to have balance in your life, what type of centeredness that you want to have, and not everyone else. You could look at movies and TV shows and pay attention to social media, but when it comes to your own personal life, you need to be successful for yourself. You don't have to be successful for me. I'm not the one that has the measuring stick to tell you that you're not successful. I'm not that person. I'm the person that tells you, if you're not where you want to be, what are you going to do to work towards it? What's your goal? How do you plan on making it to the next step? What's holding you back? Who's the person that's holding you back, right? You want to look at who's holding you back. And two, why don't you tell that person to get off you? Because we always have a tendency to put the blame and the onus towards other people. And I always ask people this: well, who's the person that's holding you back? And excuse me for saying this, but who's the person that has the knife to your throat and the gun to your head? Because I'm talking to you and I don't see anybody. So that person is yourself. You can achieve balance for yourself. It's not me. It's people that will give you suggestions, will give you advice, and you take their suggestions or advice with a grain of salt, no doubt. But at the same time, if you notice that person looks like they have it together and you've been around them and you can see it and you see the peace, you see the financial growth, you see their things in it, you might want to take heed to what that person is saying just a little bit and say, well, okay, well, I noticed that this doesn't bother that person. You ever seen somebody who just always happy? You know, like a perfect example. We've all seen this guy, Joel Osteen. He's always smiling. He's always happy. Now, I'm sure he has some issues, but his issues could be very surface level. Maybe he has an issue like with his wife's attitude or his children's not listening to him. But as you can see in his life, he has it pretty well put together. Of course, he's probably going to have some business problems. There's always some employee that's going to steal or some construction worker that didn't do something right on a project. That's surface level stuff. I'm talking about, does it look like he is balanced in his life? You might want to pay attention to people like that, people who are being positive. It's okay to watch stuff that's entertaining and it kind of comes off a little negative. It's going to entertain you, get you through your day. You got the last 15 minutes of work you're trying to get off. No problem. But I'm talking about when you engulf yourself in pure positive energy and you hear what people are saying because they want you to achieve happiness for yourself. They want you to get to a next financial stepping stone. Those are the people that you want to listen to. Those are the people that have your best interests at heart. Those are the people who recognize that, yeah, hey, you can become a millionaire. You can become a billionaire. But if you don't, it's not the end for you. And that's what a lot of people have to understand. If you don't become one of the richest people in the world, it's join the club. Join the club. There's a lot of people that are not trying to become the richest people in the world, and there are some people that are trying to. But if you don't get there, are you still happy with you? Are you still satisfied with you? Or are you going to give up? I'm noticing on the news, a lot of people are deciding. You guys are deciding to give up. You don't have to give up. What you have to do is when you feel frustration, discouragement, you're sad, things don't look like they're working right, you need to take a moment to yourself and relax. Dial it back. There are some people that got some things being hung over their head, people out to get them. Now, to those of you who are on the run from people because you screwed them over, I really don't have any advice for you. I don't know what to say because you probably got too far ahead of yourself and there's no turning back. Those people probably won't forgive you. I'm talking to people who are looking at their lives and they're worried about their bills and they don't know how they're going to pay their rent, don't know how they're going to pay their car note, when the next meal is coming. Gas prices look too high. You can only put so much in gas. I'm talking to those people who haven't figured out that those sort of problems, those sort of issues, they only are temporary. They don't last always. See, you should be able to live your life without looking over your shoulder. You should be able to live your life without necessarily worrying about, well, I'm only going to have this much money by the end of the week and all of my bills are due. Why do you get to that point? Because you start to live outside of your means. You're purchasing things that you want and not things that you need. You're purposely putting pressure on yourself when you can gain or garner peace. You don't have to take on the problems of the world. None of us are asking you to do that. There isn't one person that you know of that told you that you have to go out here and solve everybody's problems. There's not one person that you know of and said to you that you need to worry about what's happening to people that are being mistreated. You're deciding to take that on. That's your decision. You don't have to be entertained by anything outside in the world. You don't have to have social media on your phone. You don't have to have it on your laptop or desktop. You don't have to engage in none of this stuff. You can simply opt out, get yourself off of the internet grid, and go out here and live your life. There's been plenty of times, I don't even think about social media. When I come to think about it and I do stuff like this, it's because I recognize that when I read the news, because the news is what I'm in tune to. When I read the news, I notice that a lot of people are still in the same cycle. And sometimes they need to hear from somebody that's being positive by saying, hey, your problems, They're not going to be like that all the time. It's a right now problem. It's in the present moment. And if you don't have the money, you just don't have the money. But did you talk to them? Did you communicate with the people? Did you tell them what the situation was? See, a lot of us don't want to explain to people why we don't have something that we're supposed to have financially. You can't pay your car note. Well, what happened? You didn't go to work for 2 days? Well, tell them that. Get to a point where you can have open communication with people who you owe money to. These institutions, these entities, you want to do right by people, but you want to do right by life. It's called practicing stewardship. It's very difficult for a lot of people to do. You don't want to be fully honest sometimes and tell somebody, say, well, or you feel like your excuse is not going to be taken serious. And sometimes people don't like to hear your excuses, but your excuse is your answer. That's what I used to say to people all the time. Your excuse is your answer. That's what you chose. That's what your answer was. That's what happened to you. It's a real circumstance. Maybe you can play around with people and try to jerk them off and pull their chain, but that's your life. You're running out of the circle of balance. There's a circle. There's a full, complete circle, and in that circle is you, but you're not in it. You keep on taking yourself out of it. And the whole goal for you is to achieve balance. Achieve means you got there, you did it, and you know how to maintain it. Now, when you're young, and I'm talking about, 13 through 20, early 30s, it's really difficult to find that balance only because you're still growing up into yourself. You're still trying to figure out how to be who you are. And a lot of times when I was coming up, being a teenager and into a young adulthood, a lot of adults were taking me out of my positive mind state. That's why you have to be very careful when you're talking to children, because they're in a very high energy, very positive, very playful, the world is mine's mentality, and they need to stay there for themselves. That's a part of their development. They need to still be at one with themselves, and whatever contrast comes their way is a contrast wanted and unwanted. And we got to be very careful when we're dealing with people, because people, they take on a certain amount of pressure, and they haven't been taught that. It just comes along with that type of territory. And as you can see, people are choosing to take themselves out per their own wish. And we sit back and we wonder, well, what was wrong with that person? Not even realizing that you said something that was offensive. Yes, we affect other people. Some people aren't just that strong to just brush it off. There's a lot of people that don't take constructive criticism or criticism like a grain of salt. It really affects a lot of people. So you guys got to remember, you got to mind your business. You're giving your own personal opinions and perceptions about things, and it's not your place to do so. You're not an official of the high court. You're not the judge. You're not the executioner. You're not the alpha and the omega. You're just a person. You're just a man. You're just a woman. And I say we because I'm a part of this world with you guys. We do things to people to try to make them feel bad about something that they don't need to be feeling bad about. You sit up here and you try to make people feel like you need to be working 40, 80 hours. No. You need to do enough for you. You need to be responsible. You need to do enough for you. You have to understand that this is your life, and however you want to live it is up to you. That's the person you need to be worried about, is the you that's in the mirror. If you don't have $60,000 saved up, that's not my problem. That's not my problem. And to be honest with you, it's not a problem that you probably shouldn't even be worried about. If it's not there, it's just not there. That's just what it is. You know, that's just what it is. There we go. You know, I got this thing about my hat being crooked. So I don't like my crooked hat. I think my hat is crooked because I got a crooked head. But the pressure that we put on it, we do this. It starts early. It's a form of bullying as well. We do it early. We crack jokes on people. We talk about their clothes. We talk about their looks. It starts from when you're small, and you're not realizing that we come with a set of rules when we're kids, and that set of rules is we already have the balance. We're already in balance, right? We're already in balance, and then somebody just takes us out of it. We're kids. Somebody said that you stink. Somebody talks about your hair. Then you become self-conscious about who you are. Someone tells you how broke you are. You should be doing this. And you become self-conscious about that. And you're just slowly taking yourself out of the loop because you're feeling discouraged. You're always hearing something negative. No one never tells you what you're doing right. Think about it. Think about your daily lives right now. Who's telling you that you're doing something right? I'm going to tell you right now, you're doing something right. One person just told you that. But everybody else can sure tell you what you're doing wrong. No one tells you what you're doing right. No one tells you, hey, I'm proud of you. Hey, no one tells you, good job. All you hear is, why'd you do that? What made you go and do that? Well, you always doing this. You always messing this up. Why you always got to be this way? This life that we live is full of negativity. Negativity from our friends, co-workers, family, strangers. You ever said congratulations to anybody out there in the world that you don't know? You ever say anything positive to people that you don't know? No, you don't. You're too busy being negative. Too busy being negative, and everybody knows it. Too busy being negative, and everybody knows it. And all you know how to do is to be negative because that's all you've been taught is to be negative. You don't know how to say anything positive to anybody. You don't know how to uplift and encourage. You don't know how to listen. That's why your life is in shambles. And if your life is in shambles, you low key remotely want to take somebody else's life and put it into shambles right along with yours. So you can then say, see, I told you. You guys do this to people all the time, and it's unnecessary. You're not helping anybody achieve balance. You're not helping anybody achieve balance. You're not being positive to anyone. You're not even being positive to the children that watch you. I was listening to a podcast and people were saying, well, these kids shouldn't look up to nobody. We're not anybody's role model. It's not that you sign up to be a role model. You can't help but be a taller adult, and children can't help but to look up to and listen from people who are older and taller than them. So yes, they're influenced by what they see, what they hear. And whatever you say around a child, they're going to replay it in their mind and they're going to say it out loud to themselves. You keep on telling them that they're not going to be nothing, they're probably going to start to feel that way until they get around a group of people who tells them, hey, you are something. You are somebody. There's so many different disturbing things that I see in the headlines. I'm seeing these children own parents taking them out for them never to return again. I'm seeing this, and it breaks my heart, breaks my soul to hear and see that there was a parent that beat their 5-year-old till they couldn't breathe anymore, taking infants and drowning them and all this crazy stuff because that person is unhappy with who they are. because they didn't get the love and attention. If you're that upset with your children, just walk away in the house and just let them be. Just let them be. You don't have to beat children to get your point across. You don't have to yell at children to get your point across. All you got to do to get your point across is sit down and take your time and speak to them. Now, granted, some kids are just hard-headed. They're not going to learn until they learn the hard way. But as long as you sit down and you take the time to talk to them, you did your part. You did your part. You don't have to use any form of abuse to get your point across. You don't have to take anyone's life away to get your point across. That's not how you achieve balance. When things are chaotic and there's nothing but chaos, that's the time you sit still. That's the time you get quiet. I encourage you to try this because I did it 5, 6 years ago. Anaya was crying. She had already ate. We did everything, changed her pamper, but this is a time when babies just cry. They're working on their vocals. But at the same time, they're frustrated. Why? They can hear us speaking, but they can't speak back. So she starts crying, yelling, crying. And I didn't know what to do. So I just sat still, looked at her, got myself quiet. And when I got quiet, she got quiet. There's nothing you can do sometimes. When the baby's crying, sometimes they just cry. You can't try to shut them up, hush them up. That's the process. That's the growing pains. That's the growing process of learning how to become vocal. That's what it's about. And children are going to grow up and their whole goal is to become vocal about who they are. We come confident. We come with playing. We come with laughter. We come with joy. But as you get older, there are people that enter in your life. They see your innocence and they want to taint it. And I keep on saying we, because I'm in this world with you guys. We do things to people all the time. All the time. And it's unnecessary. You don't have to. You just let them be. Just let them be. Just let them be. And to go back on the topic of achieving balance, how you achieve balance is to develop peace in your life. Hey, Darshan, how do I develop peace? Stop worrying about everything that you cannot control. You can't control it. You didn't make this world. You didn't start it. You were born into something, trying to figure out how to catch up on pace. You see, you ever play the jump rope? You're trying to figure out how to jump in there. And then once you get in there, okay, I'm in there. Now you're on this race and you're trying to keep yourself in there. You didn't create anything that's out of whack. You choose to get yourself out of whack once you allow things to hinder your thought process. Don't let anyone trick you out of your money. If you're trying to hustle legit and legally, don't let anyone make you feel ashamed about doing anything to make money, because that's your life. You have to pay those bills that you accumulated. Don't let anyone trick you out of your happiness. You have to wake up in the morning and look at yourself in the mirror and feel confident and happy about who you are. Yeah, you need to hear from somebody saying, listen, hey, this is what you're doing right. You guys, you're doing it right. You're doing it right. Just don't let anyone take you out of it. Don't let anyone take you out of your happiness. Don't let anyone take you out of your happiness. This is your life. This is your life. You got to do it. You got to do it for you. Right? Life is short. You got to live it how you see fit. And I love this one. Live life to the fullest. Live life to the fullest. What does that mean? Darshawn, what does that mean? What does it mean, live life to the fullest? Well, you can't judge your life based on the millionaires and billionaires of the world. That's not the measuring stick. That's not the ruler. The ruler is, what is it that you want to do for the day, and did you do it to the fullest? Or did you think about it and you half did it? Did you say, you know what, I'm going to run 5 miles today, but you did 1? That's living, live life to the fullest. This is living. If I'm going to give you a message, I'm going to give the best message possible. I'm not going to give you the half-ass message. I'm going to give you what's on my mind, what's on my heart. I'm going to pour into you guys because I know that's what you need. I know what people need. You need positive reinforcement. That's why I'm doing the reevaluation series, the Jumpman series, helping you guys make it to the championship. We got 6 phenomenal streams coming up to help you guys get on point, to find people who are going to listen to you and give you the opportunity to work out your circumstance by talking. You have to talk it out. Even if it requires for you to talk to yourself, get on a microphone, whatever the case may be, you have to figure out how to live this life and to move in it accordingly. This is a very huge world, and there's a lot of people, millions, if not billions of people who are discouraged, disappointed, broke, bust down, and disgusted. All because they can't get their thinking capability together. They can't think themselves into a positive situation. They don't know how to speak things into existence. They don't know how to talk to the money. This green windscreen, this is me talking to the money. Money comes to me every day. Money comes to me every day effortlessly. That's what I believe. That's what I speak into existence. That's how I achieve balance. My life is balanced today. And when you say that to yourself, you're intentionally and purposefully making sure that your life is achieve balance. We're trying so hard to please other people. I'm not here to please you. I'm not here to make you happy, make you laugh, make you smile. I'm here for you to understand that you can achieve what you're trying to achieve. But it's not going to come to you easy, only because there are other people who are unhappy with their lives and they want to pull you in that boat with them. And you have to navigate yourself around difficult people. See, life isn't hard. People make it hard for you. I keep on hearing people say life is hard. It's unfair. No, life isn't hard. It's people that make life hard for you. Life isn't hard. There's people in life that make life hard for you. Because you think about it, what's so hard about life? If I'm telling you that people can tell you everything that you're doing wrong, how many of those people telling you something positive? The people who tell you you're doing something wrong, are they really trying to help you? Because it always comes off like a negative connotation. Like, you always telling me what I'm doing wrong. You never tell me what I'm doing right. They say, well, you ain't never doing nothing right. That's not true. That's not true. Do this. Put this one up. Life isn't hard. People make it hard for you. So, are you guys achieving balance? I can see the messages if you guys send something. You know, life isn't hard. People make it hard for you. That's a true statement. Yo, check me out though. Go to Cash App $1plan. We accept all donations. $1 donation, $2 donations. Every bit counts. But yeah, I just wanted to get on here real quickly. I try to keep my live streams, at a certain vantage point of minutes, but when you get into that mode, you get into that mood, you just gotta go for the gusto. But we got part 2 coming up tomorrow at 8 a.m. You guys, let me see if I could you guys can go to my YouTube page. Just type in Darshawn McAway. This is how you spell my name. You go to Darshawn McAway. Actually, you can go to DarshawnMcAway.com and click on the docu-series. It'll take you to my YouTube page. It'll probably take you to that video, but it'll definitely take you to the YouTube page. And also, this stream was brought to you by Balance Cologne. Balance Cologne has been in business since 2018. Check out the latest in men's fragrance on balancecologne.com. Of course, you guys know me. I'm known for writing children's books for the past 6 years, but I am an international best-selling author, and we have a phenomenal children's series on babyauthors.com. So feel free to go to babyauthors.com to purchase the merch. Oh man, can't say this enough. Life is short. You got to live it how you see fit. What I do want to say too is if you guys are interested in talking about your book or talking about business, or listening to people talking about books and business, go to wowpodcast.me. That's my personal podcast platform. All right. If you want to be a part of the show, send me an email at wowpodcast@mail.com. No Gmail, at mail.com. And we could give you some instructions on how to become a part of the podcast so you can talk about your book and get some things going for yourself. So don't waste too much time. Do not waste too much time out there. Life is waiting on you. Again, feel free to go to Cash App $1plan. Check out the kid. Let's see what we can do with you guys. But yeah, achieve balance. That's what we're talking about. Achieve balance. I hope that you guys are having a great day. A lot of times in life, we just have a difficult time trying to stay happy. Trust me, I've been there. I've done that. But time and time again, you'll start to realize that it's not worth you wasting your time and energy. And if you feel too overwhelmed, I am a true believer in taking naps. You take a nap, refresh yourself, and get right back into it. There's no need for you to drown yourself in substance abuse and, taking all kind of different narcotics and alcohol. Just go ahead and get you some sleep, take a 15-20 minute nap, maybe an hour, whatever you feel comfortable with, reset yourself and get back out here into the world. Again, let me just say this. I'm a firm believer in this. Life isn't hard. People make it hard for you. And the reason I say that is because are you purposely making life hard for yourself? No. But you find that, this person's trying to stop me from doing this, or this person said this to me to try to mess up my day. It's people making life hard for you, because there are so many people out here in the world that's had a difficult or a terrible childhood, and it carries over into an adulthood, and they don't know how to be positive. So life isn't hard. People make it hard for you. Again, my name is Darshawn McAway. We really want to thank you guys so much for tuning into this live stream via Facebook. We got everything rocking and rolling. We got the studio coming up. Actually, we're in the studio. I think what I want to do, I want to light up this side a little bit more. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to get me another light, get me my light situation going. This is probably going to be my whole setup from now on. Because I like this. Just keep it simple. As long as you guys can hear me loud and clear and see me talking to the money. Talking to the money, baby. That's what we're doing. We talk to the money. Again, feel free to go to wowpodcast.me. Check out the podcast. I'm actually going to send out an email to the people, let them know that Wow Podcast is still up and rolling. We're still doing our thing, and we are happy to be here with you guys. So I hope that this message is shared. Share this message. Even if you don't donate, that's okay. As long as you can share it and let everybody hear something positive. Again, my name is Darshawn McAway. I'm the host of WildPodcast.me. Feel free to get out here and live life to the fullest. Peace.